When you start a business, the road ahead is never straight. It is full of twists, turns, and unexpected challenges. If you think success will come overnight, you are already on the wrong path. The truth is, real growth happens when you face failures and learn from them. Today, I want to share some leadership lessons that every entrepreneur needs, not from a book, but from experience. First, a leader must be visionary but patient. You cannot build the future in a day. You must see what others cannot see. And more importantly, you must be willing to wait while others doubt you. Patience is not about sitting idle. It's about working tirelessly while keeping your eyes on the long-term goal. When you start a business, the journey is not a straight road. It is filled with twists, turns, and obstacles that seem impossible at first glance. Many people think that success comes from talent or luck, but the truth is, success comes from persistence, learning, and the willingness to take risks that others are too afraid to take. From the very beginning, you must understand that entrepreneurship is about seeing opportunities where others see problems and having the courage to pursue them even when the path is uncertain. A leader must have a vision not just for the next year, but for the next 10 or 20 years. You need to imagine the future before it exists and believe in it even when no one else does. This is not about daydreaming. It is about setting a goal that drives every decision you make, every action you take, and every challenge you face. Vision without patience is useless. You must learn to work for years without immediate recognition or reward, to keep moving forward when the market seems against you, and to stay focused when the world doubts you. Patience is not passive. It is active persistence, a daily commitment to your goal that strengthens your character and builds resilience. Failure is an inevitable part of this journey. Every entrepreneur will fail many times before they succeed. Failure is not something to fear, but something to embrace. It teaches lessons that success cannot. Every mistake, every setback, every rejection carries wisdom if you are willing to listen. The key is to analyze, learn, and apply those lessons quickly. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to act despite fear and the decision to continue trying when others would give up. Learning from failure is what separates ordinary people from great entrepreneurs. Building the right team is essential. No matter how talented you are, you cannot do everything alone. Surround yourself with people who are smarter than you, people who complement your skills, and people who share your vision and values. Leadership is not about control. It is about empowering others to contribute their best, to feel ownership of the mission, and to work together toward a common goal. Trusting your team, listening to their ideas, and valuing their contributions creates a culture where creativity and innovation flourish. Your customers should always come first. The success of any business depends on understanding the needs of your customers and creating products or services that genuinely improve their lives. Money is a result of good service, but it should never be the primary focus. Listen to your customers carefully, study their behavior, and solve their problems in ways that no one else can. A loyal customer is more valuable than any investment, and a business that ignores this truth will struggle to survive. Building trust and consistently delivering value will create a foundation for sustainable growth and long-term success. Resilience and optimism are two traits that will carry you through difficult times. Entrepreneurship is full of challenges, and you will encounter moments when everything seems to go wrong. At these moments, optimism is your fuel, your ability to see opportunity where others see failure, and to continue moving forward when giving up seems easier. Your energy and attitude are contagious. If you maintain a positive outlook, your team will follow, creating an environment where challenges become opportunities and obstacles become lessons rather than roadblocks. Finally, never stop learning. The world changes rapidly, technology evolves, markets shift, and customer expectations grow. A good leader is always curious, always exploring new ideas, and always willing to adapt. Complacency is the enemy of growth. Every day offers an opportunity to learn, to improve, and to expand your understanding. Knowledge, combined with humility, creates leadership that is not only effective, but also inspiring. Curiosity keeps your mind open, your ideas fresh, and your vision aligned with the ever-changing world around you. Leadership is not about being the smartest or the strongest person in the room. It is about having a clear vision. Embracing failure as a teacher, surrounding yourself with the right team, prioritizing your customers, staying resilient through challenges, and committing to continuous learning. These principles are not theoretical. They are practical lessons that can transform your journey as an entrepreneur. By applying them consistently, you create not just a business, but a culture, a movement, and a legacy that inspires others to follow your example. Starting a business is like setting out on an adventure without a map. You cannot predict every obstacle, every detour, or every storm that will come your way, but what you can control is your mindset and your approach to challenges. Many entrepreneurs make the mistake of seeking perfection from the very beginning, thinking that if they plan everything carefully, success will arrive quickly. The truth is that entrepreneurship is messy. It requires experimentation, trial and error, and the courage to keep going when things do not go according to plan. The people who succeed are not the ones who never fail, but the ones who learn faster from failure and adapt more quickly than anyone else. A strong leader understands the importance of building a culture, not just a company. Culture is what drives behavior when no one is watching, what keeps the team motivated when things get difficult, and what attracts the right people to your mission. If you hire talented individuals, but do not give them a shared purpose or values, you may end up with brilliant people working at cross purposes. Leadership is not about control or hierarchy. It is about creating an environment where people feel empowered to innovate, take risks, and contribute their best. Trust and respect are far more powerful than fear or authority in creating a team that can overcome any challenge. Vision is essential, but it is not enough to simply dream big. You must communicate your vision in a way that inspires action. People need to see the future as clearly as you do. When they understand why the work matters, they will put their energy into it wholeheartedly. A leader's role is to make the vision tangible, breaking it down into achievable steps while maintaining the excitement and passion that keeps everyone moving forward. Without a compelling vision, even the most talented team will struggle to align their efforts, and even the best ideas can fail to gain momentum. One of the most important lessons in leadership is learning to embrace risk. Entrepreneurship is inherently risky, and the fear of failure can paralyze even the most capable individuals. But risk is also where opportunity hides. The companies that make the biggest impact are the ones willing to try what others avoid, to explore markets that others overlook, and to challenge assumptions that everyone else takes for granted. Calculated risk requires courage, careful observation, and the humility to admit when a strategy is not working. It also requires resilience, because taking risks does not mean you will succeed every time, but it ensures you keep learning and growing. Adaptability is another critical trait. The business world changes faster than ever. New technologies, shifting consumer preferences, and global events can alter the landscape overnight. Leaders who cling rigidly to old models or refuse to change their approach will be left behind. The most successful entrepreneurs are those who can pivot quickly, experiment constantly, and embrace new ideas without fear. Adaptability does not mean abandoning your core values, but it does mean being flexible in strategy and execution. It means recognizing that the world will not wait for you, and to survive and thrive, you must keep moving forward. Customer focus is non-negotiable. Businesses do not exist for the benefit of their founders. They exist to solve problems for others. By listening carefully to your customers, observing their behavior, and understanding their needs, you create value that others cannot replicate. Customer satisfaction is not a metric, it is a mindset. It is the belief that every decision you make should ultimately serve the people you aim to help. Companies that prioritize customers build loyalty, trust, and sustainable growth. Those that ignore this truth may achieve short-term gains, but they will struggle to remain relevant in the long term. Finally, a leader must never stop learning. Knowledge and curiosity are the fuel that keeps innovation alive. You must be willing to read, observe, listen, and ask questions every single day. Leadership is not about knowing everything. It is about being open to new ideas, admitting when you are wrong, and continuously striving to improve. The moment you stop learning is the moment you start falling behind. Humility and curiosity together create leaders who are not only effective but inspiring, who encourage their teams to grow alongside them, and who build businesses that can endure and evolve over time. The path of entrepreneurship is not a straight line. It is unpredictable, challenging, and often discouraging, but it is also rewarding in ways that cannot be measured by money or fame alone. By focusing on culture, communicating a compelling vision, embracing risk, staying adaptable, putting customers first, and committing to lifelong learning, leaders can guide their teams through uncertainty, transform challenges into opportunities, and create organizations that make a lasting impact. Starting a business is never easy, and leading a team through uncertainty is even harder. Many people think that leadership is about giving orders, being in control, or having all the answers. The reality is very different. Leadership is about serving others, creating a vision that inspires, and helping your team overcome obstacles that seem impossible. A good leader does not focus on personal recognition or immediate results. A good leader focuses on long-term growth, building resilience, and empowering the people around them to succeed. One of the most important lessons in leadership is understanding the power of persistence. Success does not come from luck or intelligence alone. It comes from the willingness to keep going when everything around you tells you to stop. Every entrepreneur faces setbacks, failures, and criticism. Some of these setbacks are external, like market changes or competition, and some are internal, like self-doubt or team conflicts. What matters is not the obstacle itself, but how you respond to it. Leaders who persist inspire their teams to do the same, and over time, this persistence compounds into extraordinary results. Equally important is the ability to build trust. Trust is the foundation of any successful team. If people do not trust you, they will not follow your vision, they will not take risks, and they will not give their best effort. Building trust takes time, consistency, and integrity. It is about keeping promises, being transparent, and showing that you care about your team as much as you care about your business. When your team trusts you, they will feel safe to innovate, to speak up, and to challenge assumptions, which is exactly what drives growth and transformation. A leader must also embrace creativity and innovation. The world is changing faster than ever, and businesses that rely on old methods are destined to fall behind. Creativity is not just about new products. It is about finding better ways to solve problems, improving processes, and seeing opportunities where others see challenges. Innovation requires courage because trying something new often comes with risk. Leaders who encourage experimentation, who reward learning from failure, and who create a safe environment for new ideas will build organizations that are adaptable, resilient, and capable of sustained success. Communication is another critical aspect of leadership. Vision alone is not enough. People need to understand it, believe in it, and feel inspired to act on it. Effective leaders communicate clearly, frequently, and with authenticity. They listen as much as they speak, and they ensure that every member of the team knows how their work contributes to the bigger picture. When communication flows in all directions, from leader to team and team to leader, the organization becomes aligned, motivated, and empowered to execute even the most ambitious goals. A focus on customers is what separates great leaders from ordinary ones. Businesses exist to create value for others, not for the sake of profit alone. By understanding customer needs deeply, by observing their behaviors, and by solving their problems in unique ways, leaders can create loyalty that lasts for years. Customer focus is not a strategy you can turn on and off. It must be embedded in the culture, in every decision, and in every action. When the team sees that their work is making a real difference in people's lives, motivation and commitment naturally follow. Adaptability is essential for survival. The business environment is unpredictable and circumstances can change overnight. Leaders who cling to rigid plans, who resist change, or who refuse to evolve will be left behind. Adaptability is not just about responding to external changes. It is also about adjusting your leadership style to fit the needs of your team, being open to new ideas, and being willing to pivot when necessary. Flexibility combined with a strong sense of purpose creates leaders who can navigate uncertainty, seize opportunities, and guide their organizations through both challenges and growth. Finally, lifelong learning is what sustains leadership over time. The best leaders never stop educating themselves. They read, observe, listen, and explore new ideas constantly. Curiosity fuels innovation, humility fosters collaboration, and knowledge builds confidence. A leader who stops learning becomes stagnant, but a leader who embraces learning sets an example for the entire organization. Teams follow leaders who demonstrate growth, openness, and a willingness to adapt. And in doing so, the organization continues to evolve, innovate, and thrive. Leadership is not about titles, positions, or recognition. It is about persistence, trust, creativity, communication, customer focus, adaptability, and learning. It is about guiding your team through uncertainty, inspiring them to take risks, and building an environment where innovation and growth can flourish. Entrepreneurship is often described as a journey, but it is more than that. It is a test of character, resilience, and vision. Many people think that success comes from intelligence, connections, or luck. But the reality is that the path of an entrepreneur is paved with persistence, learning, and the ability to see opportunities where others see obstacles. Leadership in business is not about controlling people or giving orders. It is about inspiring them, empowering them, and creating a culture where they can grow alongside the company, one of the most important lessons is that challenges are inevitable, and how you respond to them defines your success. Every leader will face moments when resources are limited, when competitors seem stronger, or when the market shifts unexpectedly. At these moments, you must remain calm, analyze the situation, and focus on solutions rather than complaints. Resilience is not about avoiding failure, it is about embracing it, learning from it, and using it to move forward with greater clarity and strength. A team follows a leader who shows courage in the face of difficulty, and that courage becomes contagious. Creating an environment where obstacles are approached as opportunities to learn innovation is another critical factor in leadership. The world changes at an incredible pace, and businesses that fail to innovate will be left behind. Innovation is not just about creating new products. It is about improving processes, finding smarter ways to solve problems, and being willing to take calculated risks that others avoid. A good leader encourages experimentation, supports creativity, and celebrates learning even when the results are not perfect. Fear of failure kills innovation, but a culture that embraces experimentation allows ideas to grow, evolve, and eventually succeed. Building the right team is fundamental to long-term success. A leader cannot accomplish everything alone, and surrounding yourself with talented, motivated, and aligned people is essential. Hiring is not just about skills, it is about character, values, and the willingness to embrace the vision. Leadership is about trust, delegation, and empowerment. When your team feels trusted and valued, they take ownership of their work, contribute ideas freely, and are willing to go above and beyond. The strongest organizations are those where collaboration and mutual respect are the foundation. Understanding your customers is key to sustaining growth. A successful business exists to solve problems and create value for others. Leaders who prioritize customers ensure that every decision, product, and service is designed to meet their needs. Listening carefully, observing behaviors, and anticipating demands allows a company to stay ahead of the market. Customer satisfaction is not a metric, it is a philosophy, a commitment to serve, and a reminder that business success is measured by the impact you create rather than just profits. Loyal customers become advocates, helping to grow the business organically, and creating a foundation for long-term stability. Adaptability is a quality that separates great leaders from the rest. The market, technology, and customer expectations are constantly evolving. Leaders who cling to old methods or rigid plans risk stagnation and failure. Adaptability means being open to change, willing to experiment, and ready to pivot when necessary while staying true to your core mission and values. It is about balancing stability with flexibility and knowing when to hold firm and when to adjust. Teams look to their leaders for guidance in uncertain times, and a leader who demonstrates adaptability inspires confidence and initiative in others. Continuous learning is essential for sustaining leadership. Knowledge and curiosity fuel innovation, personal growth, and effective decision-making. A leader who stops learning risks becoming obsolete, while a leader who is open to new ideas, trends, and experiences remains relevant and visionary. Lifelong learning is not only about improving oneself, but also about creating a culture where growth is encouraged, mistakes are treated as lessons, and everyone is motivated to push their boundaries. Humility and curiosity together enable a leader to navigate complexity, inspire others, and build a resilient organization. Leadership is not defined by authority or position, but by the ability to persist through challenges, foster innovation, build the right team, serve customers, stay adaptable, and commit to lifelong learning. It is about creating an environment where people feel empowered, inspired, and capable of achieving something greater than themselves. The path of entrepreneurship is demanding, unpredictable, and sometimes discouraging, but with the right mindset and approach, it becomes a journey of growth, transformation, and impact. Starting a business is like stepping into the unknown. You cannot predict every challenge, and you cannot control every outcome, but you can control your mindset, your determination, and your willingness to learn. Many entrepreneurs believe that success comes from having the perfect idea or the perfect plan, but the reality is that the path to success is filled with mistakes, failures, and moments of doubt. The people who succeed are not those who avoid failure, but those who embrace it, learn from it, and keep moving forward with courage and clarity. One of the first lessons every entrepreneur must learn is the importance of perseverance. Challenges will come, sometimes in waves, and the journey often feels longer and harder than anyone expects. The key is not to let obstacles discourage you, but to treat them as opportunities to grow, improve, and become stronger. Persistence is not about blindly pushing forward. It is about staying committed to your vision, learning from each experience, and making small improvements every day. Over time, this consistent effort compounds, creating results that are far greater than the sum of their parts. Another vital lesson is the power of building the right team. No matter how talented you are, you cannot achieve success alone. Surround yourself with people who share your values, complement your strengths, and bring new perspectives to the table. Leadership is not about control or micromanagement. It is about trust, empowerment, and creating a culture where every team member feels valued and motivated to contribute their best work. When your team is aligned with your vision and inspired by your leadership, they become your most powerful asset. Capable of achieving things that would be impossible individually, innovation and adaptability are critical in a world that changes rapidly. Businesses that cling to old methods or resist change risk being left behind. Innovation is not only about new products or technology, it is about improving processes, finding creative solutions to problems, and continually experimenting to see what works best. Adaptability is the ability to pivot when circumstances demand it, without losing sight of your core mission. Leaders who embrace innovation and adaptability foster a culture of creativity and resilience, enabling their teams to respond effectively to challenges and seize opportunities that others overlook. Customer focus is another principle that cannot be ignored. A successful business exists to solve problems and create value for others. By understanding the needs of your customers, listening to their feedback, and anticipating their desires, you can create products and services that truly make a difference. Customer loyalty is built not through marketing alone, but through consistent value, trust, and the genuine desire to serve. Leaders who prioritize their customers create organizations that thrive because they are guided by purpose rather than short-term gain, and this purpose becomes the compass that drives every decision and strategy. Resilience is essential for navigating the highs and lows of entrepreneurship. The journey will include setbacks, criticisms, and failures that test your resolve. How you respond to these moments defines your character and the trajectory of your business. Resilient leaders see challenges as learning experiences rather than insurmountable barriers. They maintain optimism, inspire their teams, and keep moving forward even when the odds seem stacked against them. Resilience is contagious. When a leader demonstrates it, their team adopts the same mindset. And together they are capable of overcoming obstacles that would defeat others. Lifelong learning is the final cornerstone of effective leadership. The world evolves rapidly, and knowledge that is relevant today may become outdated tomorrow. Leaders who remain curious, humble, and committed to growth position themselves and their organizations for long-term success. Learning is not just about acquiring information. It is about observing, reflecting, experimenting, and applying new insights to improve decisions and strategies. A leader who models continuous learning inspires the same behavior in their team, creating a culture where innovation, improvement, and growth are constant. Leadership is not about titles, recognition, or authority. It is about guiding a team through uncertainty, fostering innovation, prioritizing customers, building resilience, empowering the right people, and committing to continuous learning. The journey of entrepreneurship is never easy, but by focusing on these principles, a leader can create an environment where both the team and the organization grow, innovate, and achieve results that surpass expectations. Entrepreneurship is a journey that tests your patience, creativity, and determination every single day. Many people think that starting a business is about having the right product, the right investment, or the right timing. But the reality is that it is much more about mindset, leadership, and resilience. Every step of the journey will challenge you in ways you never expected. And the lessons you learn from these challenges often define not only the success of your business, but also your growth as a leader and as a person. One of the most critical lessons for entrepreneurs is understanding the importance of vision. You cannot lead a team or build a company without a clear picture of where you are going. Vision is more than setting a goal. It is about imagining a future that others cannot see and inspiring people to follow you even when the path is unclear. Leaders who communicate their vision effectively create alignment, motivation, and a sense of purpose that drives action. When the team understands why they are working and what they are working toward, their efforts become more focused, creative, and committed. Equally important is embracing failure as a stepping stone to success. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of the journey. Every mistake provides a lesson, an opportunity to reflect, and a chance to improve. Entrepreneurs who fear failure often miss opportunities, hesitate to take risks, and limit their growth. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to act despite it. Learning to fail intelligently, to adapt quickly, and to keep moving forward builds resilience, wisdom, and confidence that no success alone can provide. Building the right team is another essential principle. Leadership is not about doing everything yourself. It is about surrounding yourself with people who complement your skills, share your values, and are committed to the mission. A strong team brings diverse perspectives, energy, and creativity that can transform ideas into reality. Trust, respect, and empowerment are the foundations of effective leadership. When team members feel trusted and valued, they take ownership of their work, innovate without fear, and contribute at a level that far exceeds individual effort. Customer focus is at the heart of every successful enterprise. Businesses exist to solve problems and create value for people, and leaders who prioritize customers consistently outperform those who focus only on profits. Understanding your customers, listening to their feedback, and designing solutions that genuinely improve their lives creates loyalty, advocacy, and long-term growth. Every decision, every innovation, and every action should be viewed through the lens of customer value, because a business that serves its customers effectively builds trust, reputation, and sustainability. Adaptability is a skill that leaders cannot afford to ignore. The business world is unpredictable, markets shift, technologies evolve, and unexpected events can change everything overnight. Leaders who cling to rigid plans or old strategies risk stagnation. Adaptability is the ability to pivot without losing sight of your core mission, to experiment with new approaches, and to remain open to learning from every situation. Flexible leaders create teams that are confident, capable, and responsive, turning challenges into opportunities and uncertainty into a chance to innovate. Resilience and optimism are qualities that define enduring leadership. The journey of entrepreneurship is filled with setbacks, rejections, and criticisms. Resilient leaders maintain their energy, focus, and positivity even in the face of adversity. Optimism is not naive. It is a conscious decision to see opportunity, to motivate others, and to persist when results are not immediate. A leader's attitude sets the tone for the entire team. When a leader demonstrates resilience and confidence, the team mirrors that energy, creating a culture where challenges are approached with determination and creativity. Finally, the commitment to continuous learning is what sustains leadership over the long term. The world changes rapidly, and knowledge that is sufficient today may be outdated tomorrow. Leaders who remain curious, humble, and committed to growth are better equipped to make informed decisions, inspire innovation, and guide their organizations effectively. Lifelong learning is not just about acquiring knowledge. It is about applying insights, experimenting, and improving constantly. A leader who models continuous learning inspires the same behavior in their team, fostering a culture of growth, creativity, and adaptability. Leadership is not defined by authority or position, but by the ability to inspire, empower, and guide others through uncertainty, challenges, and opportunities. It is about vision, learning from failure, building the right team, serving customers, staying adaptable, remaining resilient, and committing to lifelong learning. Entrepreneurs who embrace these principles create organizations that are not only successful, but also transformative, innovative, and capable of making a lasting impact.